H.R. 4919 passed the House by a vote of 346 to 66 in the lower chamber. It is also known as Kevin in Avante's law. What it mandates is that the United States Attorney General has to award grants to law enforcement officials so that those agencies can create, establish, and operate a locative tracking technology program. Again, this sounds like a great plan to help those that are affected with debilitating diseases that don't allow them to live on their own. But what does it mean for the rest of the country? Whenever the government gets involved with our lives, it just opens the door for them to control and manipulate the people to do what the government wants them to do. The program mission would find individuals with forms of dementia such as Alzheimer's disease or children with developmental disabilities such as autism who have wandered from safe environments. In addition, the Attorney General would have to consult with the Secretary of Health and Human Services and other health organizations to come up with the best practices for these tracking devices. Advocates of the legislation point to tragedies that have the potential to be avoided by law enforcement using these types of technologies to find those with mental disabilities that have wandered off. Again, this is the government we're talking about, right? Now, this law is also as vague as possible. Texas Republican Representative Louis Gohmert is in agreement. He says that the good intentions of the bill are open for interpretation. While this initiative may have noble intentions, small and temporary programs in the name of safety and security often involved in permanent and indulge in bureaucrats that infringe on Americans' people's freedoms. That is exactly what we have here. A safety problem exists for people with Alzheimer's, autisms, and other mental health issues. So the fix, we are told, is to have the Department of Justice start a tracking program so we can use some device or method to track those individuals 24 hours a day. How convenient. Also, we are going to have a tracking program for United States citizens that have wandered off too far, but not those that have committed crimes against the United States. How does that make any sense at all? It is absolutely staggering that the Republican majorities in the House and Senate could be so blind to government overreach that they would allow a federal tracking program, not for criminals in the United States, not for terrorists, not for illegal immigrants, or even immigrants who commit crimes, but for people with developmental disabilities, a term that is subject to wide misinterpretation. The Senate Republican leaders even brought it to the floor with almost no one there and asked that the new Big Brother program be passed without even having a vote at all. Someone just asked for unanimous consent. Since no one is advised about the bill being brought up, no one who would object knows to be there, so it passes without anyone ever actually voting for it. Surely most of you out there have heard of the book 1984. How soon after this bill is implemented are we going to see the government come up with the thought police? They are literally going to expand this bill to include policing what people think, which was a concept covered in the book 1984. We are literally seeing the book unfold right before our eyes right now in real time, and the mainstream media isn't even covering it. Soon enough, the freedoms that we are guaranteed in this country are going to cease to exist. We have the unique ability to say what we want about what we want, and in the matter of which we want. Expanding this bill is going to destroy that completely. We will no longer be a nation that is free. We're going to turn into a totalitarian style government that tracks its citizens' every move. Say goodbye to all the freedoms that are promised under the Constitution. Besides, how often do small and temporary programs stay small and temporary? Come on, folks, let's get real here. This is ridiculous. What is to prevent the government from saying that we all need to be tracked? Children, for their fear that they're going to run away. Soon those children are going to turn into adults, and soon enough, every person in the country is chipped. Then you're going to have one person in charge think that it is okay to see where everyone is all the time. Soon enough, we're in a dictatorship. Not to mention that this was passed without anyone knowing, because President Obama, or whatever you want to call that guy, decided to freak out and blame Russia for hacking the Democrats. How do we know that this wasn't a plan on his part to pass this bill? Then again, some politicians have thought of this before. An email leak from WikiLeaks showed that this is what the Clinton campaign was trying to do. They wanted to have the people completely under control of the government. The only difference was that the Clinton campaign wanted to mold the young people's mind into never challenging what the government does. If you don't challenge them, then they are allowed to pass whatever they want and nobody is going to stop them. The media was involved in this as well. If the media is telling people that they shouldn't worry, then people aren't going to challenge them on anything. That was what the New York Times was attempting to do in regards to the Clinton campaign. They were just telling people to read what they were putting out. Folks, we're in trouble if this thing stays into law. It is up to us to stop a situation like this. This is why they're trying to censor fake news. In other words, guys, there is no fake news coming from the alternative news media. There is fake news out there in the world for real, and it's mainly coming from the mainstream media. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to silence websites like this, nwreport.com, this YouTube channel, from getting out alternative news that is real, so you will not hear what is actually going on. Let me know what you think below this video, guys. Do you think Trump is going to get in there and put a stop to this stuff, or do you think it's just going to continue on and lead on to where everybody in this country is being tracked like rats? Leave your comments below this video. Thanks for watching.